Are we live?
Yep.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm here with the Deadlifting Gandalf. Is that a name or did that just pop up today?
Popped up.
Yeah, I love it. The Deadlifting Gandalf. Got some questions from Facebook. If you guys aren't following me on Facebook, follow me on Facebook. Hopefully you guys are already following this guy, but follow him on YouTube. We're here at his gym, Untamed Strength. We're in the coffee room, the break room.
Right next to the bathroom.
The shitter and the fucking dining room. We just finished training, so he's going to eat a little bit. But here we go. Is feeling more banged up while cutting normal? Speaking of drinking whole milk and jamming, I'll give my opinion. And I would say probably yeah. I mean, you're getting less food in. Chances are even other things, hormones, sleep, a bunch of factors come into play once you start to deprive your body of nutrients, which is basically the goal when you're trying to get leaner, right? We're taking in more or less macronutrients, so then we burn our body fat rather than storing the calories that we're eating or using the calories we're eating. You're chowing down like a motherfucker right now. When's the last time you cut, and did you feel banged up? You never really like cut?
Nope. So I'm not one to ask. I've never really tried to drop weight. I have, but not intentionally.
Yeah.
And I do notice that it taps into my recovery tank, if you will.
If you just underate that day or that week,
Right.
just by chance.
Yep.
Yeah, I feel really banged up because I try to keep, we talk about this a lot, I try to keep my training the same. I think it's an old school thing to like, oh, when I'm bulking, I'm training heavy, I'm doing barbell movements, and when I'm cutting, I'm going to do ISO movements. But I literally do the exact same template of training, varied reps, varied sets, varied loads, both times. And because when you are bulking, you're eating a certain amount to gain that muscle, and you're training a certain way to gain that muscle.
Right.
So we have to keep that stimulus the same as we're cutting to hopefully maintain that muscle and burn that fat.
Right.
Feeling banged up in training. Alan talked about this earlier. We did a Q&A, long and loose, as our boy Omar says. Q&A on your channel, and you mentioned, just feeling banged up in general now that your training is going nuts.
Big time.
This is going to be a quick answer, but I'll give it to you. I recently found out that I herniated my disc at my T3 or T1. I definitely can't squat. Do you recommend deadlifting? Thanks in advance.
Why do you send this to me?
Because I knew it would be quick. Yeah, you can just shut it down.
Yeah,
shut
exactly.
it down.
No,
shut it down.
No.
He had edit. Oh my God! Oh! Shut it down! Let's go home!
Don't ask me. I'm not qualified to give you that answer.
Yeah,
But
I would say no.
If you're experiencing back pain, regardless of what it is, get back to squatting and deadlifting as soon as you can. But I'm not telling you when that is.
Yeah.
So
Physical therapist, chiropractor, real doctor, and then obviously if the movement doesn't hurt, it's more likely that it's okay, but it doesn't guarantee that it's okay.
right.
When you're talking about a herniated disc is a real fucking deal. It's not like, oh, I have a bruised elbow, I fell on it. So take precaution. What's your favorite top 3 assistance exercises to increase your deadlift? You got none?
Go ahead.
All right.
Andrew.
If I had to choose, it would probably be like opposite stance. So if you're a conventional guy, maybe just dabble in some sumo. More particular, if you're a sumo guy, definitely dabble in conventional. It would probably be a stiff leg. And then I'm either tied with a block pull or a bench over row. I'll probably go, let's go stiff leg, and then I'll say maybe even a chin up or bench over row.
Yeah. So the first things you said were kind of where I was going. Rather than doing assistance work, I think a variation is going to pay off. Whether it's a block pull like we did today, deficit, pause deadlift, things like that, that mimic the actual movement you're trying to get better at. I don't think that doing, sets of 15 or 20, 50-pound dumbbell rows is going to do much to increase your deadlift, but I think variations will. That's what I would suggest.
By any chance, have you found that your knees are a little sore when switching or using a raised heel shoe?
I've always used a raised heel shoe, meaning I guess somewhat recently. I squatted my Metcons for like a couple of months just because, but no, I've never experienced any knee pain.
Yeah, the only time I experienced knee pain was when I was playing basketball pretty much full time and trying to powerlift. So I was coaching high school basketball where I would hop into drills because I still wanted to go and try out for college. So I was basically practicing basketball 2 to 4 hours a day. and then still trying to squat two times a week. And then my knees, just couldn't take it. But actually just squatting, I don't know if I've ever had knee pain.
Yeah, so there might be something else contributing to your knee pain, like playing basketball.
Yeah, posture.
And you're assuming that it's the shoes. But it also could be your just squat mechanics. You might be doing what I do. I don't experience knee pain from it, but it's not good. So relax to the bottom and rebound, slam off your knees. That might be aggravating, pissing off your knees. So that could be just mechanics. And it just so happens you're wearing a heeled shoe and you think that's it. So a lot of people are hesitant to wear sleeves for some weird reason, but I would encourage it.
Yeah, a little warmth, why not?
Yeah, exactly. If it makes you feel better and allows you to squat, it's better than not squatting because your knees hurt. So get some knee sleeves maybe.
Yeah, I would agree. Checking your mechanics. Pushing into your knees is okay in my opinion. Getting your quads activated, pushing those knees a little bit forward is okay. Again, but if it's causing you issues, maybe you need a more vertical shin in your squat, perhaps. This is I didn't even tell Alan as I interrupted his lunch what kind of Q&A this is. So it's general as well. Someone just asked if you were an older or younger sibling or if you have siblings. I'm the youngest. I have an older sister, and there's just 2 of us.
I have 4 brothers, 2 younger, 2 older. I'm right in the middle.
That's probably where you're a tough son of a bitch, huh? There's probably brawls everywhere. 4 bros is Are you guys generally the same age? Or is there like a huge gap somewhere?
It's like 33 to 22.
Yeah, so definitely in the same age. Yeah,
one after another pretty much. So.
High school and college, you guys are just ruckus. All right. I don't know. This I'm going to start reading it because it's a long question, and if it sucks, we'll just edit it out or yell at this guy. So I'm running a small O junior on my bench for a competition in 4 weeks. One thing before I continue, I get pissed off all the time. People are like, hey, I got to meet in 2 weeks. What do I do? Hey, I got to meet in 3 weeks. What do I do? It's already too late. Yeah. By that time, your work is done. Particularly 8, 12, 16 weeks blocks are often best for not only your off season, but your general training and definitely going into a meet. So plan ahead. Failure to prepare is preparing for failure. Thinking that once the comp is finished, my bench may drop because I won't be benching as much or as often. Okay, we're leading to a good question. So this guy's benching a lot, high frequency going into the meet. After the meet, he plans to drop the frequency. Any way you could recommend keeping as much of that strength as possible and returning back to a program benching only twice a week?
Yeah, this is bro science because I don't have anything to point to.
Yeah, but this is a question.
Yeah, but my answer is bro science, not the question.
Right. This is a horseshoe answer.
I think that, I don't know what your bench is, but I think that once you have finally benched 225 or 315, it's much easier to maintain that so that you don't have to peak up to it. So once you have gotten to that number, to that landmark, it's easier to kind of stay there and build from there.
Yeah, I wouldn't argue that either. There's actually a study coming out. I follow this Instagram. I think I've mentioned this before, either to you off air or on the camera. This guy publishes surveys and experiments and things onto Instagram, and then he in the description kind of gives a summary and then a little bit of his opinion. It's pretty cool. It's just some exercise doctor. And he did a little series on the mental aspect of it and how hard and how quickly it can boost PRs. And we all say this cliche, we're stronger than we think we are, but we actually are. So that's really cool to see. So that's kind of where your answer was. In terms of pure training and volume, 100%. So the reason you do more frequency is to practice more often so you get used to that skill of benching. 2, to spread out that volume. So instead of doing 10 sets of 10 benching once a week, you could do 3 sets of 10 and do it 4 times a week, and you're getting more volume and less fatigue spread out.
I would never suggest doing that. But.
Yeah, I don't either, but just example of math. So that's something you could do though, right? So if you're benching, a 3x5 4 times a week, you could do 2 5x5s and kind of get in the same world. And then also know that training, powerlifting, even though some have success with congruent periodization, which means they're kind of always up here. Strength training, life, running, sport, basketball, football comes in waves, peaks, and valleys. So it's okay to drop back down and start doing some sets of 10 once a week even. And then build up your frequency and your volume again as you get into a meet. Frequency doesn't always have to stay the same, just the same as volume, intensity doesn't have to stay the same. Here we go. They're here, speaking of bro science. How long are your workouts? And what is your opinion on training longer than 60 minutes? Back in the day, maybe even still, there was kind of a thing about hormones and all this. Like, you cannot train more than 60 minutes. It starts to go backwards, right? Your progress starts to go backwards. Your hormones drop. It's more important to get that protein shake in within the next 10 minutes. So we have a 70-minute period to get a workout and your shake, or you are fucked.
It's true. That's not true. My workouts take 2 to 3 hours.
Yeah.
Depending on how much BS is in between. But I'm in the gym to get this much work done, whether it's done in 45 minutes or 3 hours, I don't really care. As long as that work's getting done. You're in the gym to get stronger, not to meet some time limit. And with that, I would much rather, let's say you're doing 5 sets of 5, I would much rather you do 5 sets of 5, 25 good total reps in 45 minutes than to rush through it, try to do it in 10 minutes and have a bunch of sloppy reps. So just intelligent programming is key. If you're doing that, however long it's taking you, it is what it is. I don't know much more to say past that.
I agree with Alan. The stronger you get and the deeper you get into this, more volume and stimulus you need to progress, the longer your workouts are going to be. So, Alan, I followed his workout today. We basically did 4 sets of 6 or so on, 2 or 3 hard compound movements.
Right.
And since I had to work up to 585 on a deadlift, my workout took longer than if I had to do 315 on a deadlift.
Yeah.
Right? Just pure workout sets and pure rest time. So
warming up to a weight.
Yeah, 60 minutes. There are workouts that work in 60 minutes. I'm not saying that you cannot do that, depending on your goals. And people have lives. They have kids. They have jobs.
Right.
So getting a workout done in 60 minutes is okay. But I do agree with Alan that taking longer breaks to perfect the movement will allow you to use more weight, allow you to do things more perfectly, and allow you to progress best off in the long run.
I work with plenty of clients. We can do a linear progression, like a starting strength thing, 3 sets of 5 squat, 3 sets of 5 bench, set of 5 for deadlifts. We can get that all done in 50 minutes because they're only working up to a 65-pound squat, a 55-pound bench, you know what I mean, a 95-pound deadlift. Doesn't take very long, so it varies for everyone.
This is something you've dealt with recently and made some switches, so maybe we'll talk about this and then I'll talk about general things.
Okay.
Any tips to help reduce shoulder and elbow pain and stiffness during a heavy training cycle? You were having some beat up elbows. The bows were killing you from some tendonitis or who knows what.
Yeah, that was, I was having this painful throbbing sensation. It really wasn't, like I couldn't pinpoint it to my bicep or tricep, just my elbows were aching, throbbing to where it was affecting my grip. I couldn't squeeze my hands, it was bad. And all I had to do was switch my grip for the low bar squat. I was squatting a lot more frequently. I was going with a thumbless grip. I was cranking my elbows under the bar, and I think that was just really aggravating it. So I switched to a thumbless or a full grip, elbows back a little bit, and it helped. It helps me to support the weight across my back, not so much in my hands and on my elbows. And it might not be ideal. I prefer doing a thumbless grip with my elbows under, but I just adjusted a little bit, which didn't make a huge difference in terms of mechanics, but it did in terms of elbow pain. But past that, I have heard, it's only what I've heard doing for tendonitis, doing light bicep curls, I've been told, helps. I don't know why. Maybe
I've done a little bit of that just to flush the system. Something called the voodoo floss. Kelly Starrett's a big fan, where you kind of tie off your arm, and then you'll get a little bit of extra blood in there to flush out everything that's going on. Mm-hmm. So it's not like 40-pound dumbbell curls. It's like literally a band, and you're just doing some sets of 20 or 30 triceps and biceps to get some blood in there. Same thing. I've not had a lot of success, but joint supplements. I've heard some people had success with that, helping them. Kind of overdosing or superdosing fish oils. I've heard some people have success with that. But I'm kind of more with Alan, where it's probably from a certain technique, whether it is a squat or a bench often. And so you got to fix those techniques. And then 2, maybe just too much too soon. So too much volume overall in a pressing, in a tricep extension or whatever. Right. But you should be able to train hard and heavy without feeling too beat up in areas other than the main movers. Quads for squats, low back for deadlift, pecs, shoulders for the bench.
And make sure you're not doing way too much in terms of volume, sets, reps. It's different for everyone. So it just might be more than you can handle for whatever reason, age, training experience, yada, yada, yada.
We're going to end it there, friends. Appreciate you. Like the video, subscribe, follow my boy.
Cheers.
Chug milk. We're out of here.